Today is a beautiful sunny day. It has been pouring for weeks, it seems, and the sun has come out, so I am going to go out and show you one of the most fantastic things we grow, and that is cucamelons. If you haven't seen our vegetable garden before, or if you have, it's looking pretty green after the rain. Lexi, Sheila, you going to come in? You're going to come into the garden with me? Hi, I'm Debbie and welcome to Vintage Food Farm. Today we are under the cucamelon trellis. Let me show you. So these are cucamelons. They are a tiny little cucumber. And even though it says melon, the only reason that they call it a melon is because of the shape. But it tastes exactly like a cucumber with a tiny little note of citrus as well. So it's very, very nice. I've got my basket here so I can pick some. If you look up, you can see there are literally thousands of cucamelons. It is just never ending. There's a little flower. I don't know if you can see, but it's got, at the base of it, it has the baby cucamelon. Really pretty winding vine leaves. It's not actually a cucumber. It's a cucamelon in itself. So many of them, it's crazy. And all up here, all the way to the back of this arch trellis, which is just a rebarred trellis. I really like coming in to pick the cucamelons because it's so cool compared to just being out there in the sun. There's a few different names for cucamelons all over the world. In Australia, a lot of people call them mouse melons. There's also Mexican sour gherkins, Mexican sour cucumbers, pepquinos, which I think is what they're called in South America. Mini watermelons, even though they are absolutely nothing to do with a watermelon. We don't seem to have any pests with our cucamelons. We do have a whole lot of dragonflies that are constantly hovering over the top. So I don't know if they're eating any larvae or insects that might be a pest to them, but we don't have any eating, any damage to the leaves, so very, very cool to not have to worry about pests. You can hear that very, very noisy guinea fowl in the background. He's probably seeing a snake or anything that's upsetting him. So I'm leaving the smaller ones and I'm just getting the bigger ones, which are sort of about the same size as a grape. So you can see how easy they are to pick, and the beauty of them being small is if you do get a whole cucumber, sometimes you don't want to use the whole thing. This you can just get the exact amount that you need. So that there are cucamelons. Look, here's some little bug. Don't even know what it is. This is a longevity spinach, which I'm going to plant in here. And I've also got some fish mint, which I did originally plant out here in the sun, but I do know that fish mint prefers the shade and really wet, so I'm going to plant it in here underneath the trellis, just down here. Look at all these baby tomatoes coming up. Just thousands of them. Hello, Lexi. So I'll show you what the cucamelon looks like inside. Basically, it is a cucumber. You can see all the seeds in there. As far as how to use a cucamelon, you can replace cucumber in anything with a cucamelon. You can make an Indian raita, a Greek tzatziki, a Greek salad with cucumber, tomato, feta and olives is really beautiful with the cucamelons, especially when they've got that slight citrusy taste, which is almost like the lemon in Greek food. So it really, really works well. You could put them in a Vietnamese spring roll. You could put them on a ham and salad sandwich. We had a beautiful meal the other night of Peking duck, and I used the cucamelons from the garden and also the spring onions for that, and it was really, really yummy. Because it's crunchier than a normal cucumber, I think that really works. I'll just grab one now. So they are really, really crunchy with that citrusy, limey, lemony taste. Oh, really, really good. Better than a cucumber, for sure, hands down. I'll show you here, I don't plant cucamelons. So we've had cucamelons for 2 years, and we bought the original seeds at the hardware store and we planted them. And then those ones dropped cucamelons on the ground, and more grew up and more grew up and more grew up. So I'll show you now all the cucamelons that are on the ground that are going to grow into more plants. They're just everywhere. So it's a really easy, lazy plant to have. One just dropped then. You can see how muddy and gross it is. As well as growing on this trellis, I think that a bird must have eaten one or dropped it, or somehow it's dispersed its seeds over here. So you can see here, all the tomatoes are just about gone now, but they're actually starting to come up again like I showed you. But this has also got cucamelons coming up, and I'm just going to leave them because they're so pretty and we eat so many of them. Can you believe this Vietnamese coriander? It is absolutely insane. There is about 3 cubic meters of Vietnamese coriander there. It's crazy. Lexi's looking for something. What is it? Is it a cane toad? I bet it's a cane toad, hey. I'll just show you quickly as we pass. These are wing beans or asparagus peas, and they get a really bad rap, but they are really, really yummy. I think you just have to know how to cook them. This is going to go into flour really soon, and then we are going to have tons of wing beans or asparagus peas. I actually like the name asparagus pea because it does taste like a cross between a pea and asparagus. Just look at the size of this vine. That is insane. Last year we would have gotten like, I don't know, 10 big plastic buckets full, maybe even more over the year. It was just crazy. So cucamelons grow really quickly. You can get a packet of seeds online or at the hardware store and plant them, and you will have cucamelons within a few months. And then let them self-seed, and then you will have more and more and more cucamelons, as many cucamelons as you can handle. If you were in a cooler climate, I believe that they have to grow in summer, but up here we've actually had them all year. We have 10 times more at this time of year in the wet season when it's really hot and wet, but we still had plenty to go around in the dry season as well when it's a bit colder. Yeah, Sheila. The other really good thing to use cucamelons for is for fermenting, pickling, and making a quick pickle. So fermenting is when you put it in a jar with a burping lid with some salt and water, and that ferments over time and creates its own sourness, with all the good bacteria and all that sort of stuff. You can also do a quick pickle, which is if I'm not, and I'm not very good at planning ahead sometimes, and I want some sort of pickle, I will just cut the cucamelons into 4, put them in a jar with some vinegar and some salt. If I want it to be more pickly, I won't do as much salt. If I want it to be more of a caper type flavour, then I will add a little bit more salt, and I'll put that in the fridge for a couple of hours, and even overnight. Like, you can use it after a couple of hours and then you can use it the next day as well, and that's really a great little cheat. You can also pickle them in vinegar. Do like 3 parts vinegar, 1 part water, and put them all into a jar and put them in the fridge, and they will last for ages as well. Just anything that you buy as far as a pickle goes, a gherkin, a pickle, a caper, you can use these as a replacement. The easiest way to find out how to use some of these less common tropical fruits and vegetables is you just don't go fruit and veg shopping. You use everything from the garden, and you soon find a million ways to use some of this fantastic tropical produce. There's another tomato coming up. And that's all those cucamelons. You can see on top, it's just insane. And look, they're all going into the, actually I might pull them out of there, but they're starting to grow up the pea eggplant as well. So I had really good intentions, and every part of the trellises had their own sort of special thing, like tomatoes were in one place, cucamelons were in another, wing beans were in another. That sort of has gone a bit awry, but it doesn't matter. I don't care that everything is self-seeding and coming up everywhere. So I don't care if we've got cucamelons and tomatoes over here, cucamelons and tomatoes over there. Wherever it wants to grow, that's fine. I'm being attacked by pawpaw. Papaya. This is incredible. If anyone saw the tree lettuce video and I said that the tree lettuce was going to seed, just have a look at this. So this one's fallen off the edge, but look at how many flowers and seeds there are. Look at that. That one there is like 4 meters high. Look, you can see I don't know if you can see actually, but there's the dragonflies out. They're so pretty. That's all the cucamelon. More tree lettuce going to seed. So pretty. And look at this. This is hilarious. Chilies. Heaps and heaps of chilies in here as well. So I didn't plant them. They just self-seeded. And then look, that's all. Even here, the wing beans are trying to escape over to the ground apple and asparagus bed. So I'll stop that. I really need to cut back this asparagus, and then it will come back beautifully. So as soon as those wing beans go to flower, it gets covered in these beautiful blue flowers. So I'll show you that when it happens. Oh, look, over here. These are actual tree lettuce seeds. So can you see the seeds? You can see here that's okra, tiny little okra, but that's ready to pick now. Okra is always much nicer when it's really young. More okra, and there's some okra seeds. So I'll just pick that pod, chuck it around. You can see more tomatoes there, and then we will get more okra growing. I love okra. We do okra with garlic, ginger, mustard seeds, and fresh tomato. Cook that all up, and then chop up the okra and put it in. And you can also put in some potato as well. Very yummy. Indian inspired, but probably butchered. I'm also going to get some bags of sand and just put it along the bottom here. Then the grass will grow up through it, but it'll also take away from the muddy, slimy, skiddy, muddy mess that it is. This chicken in here is our green egg-laying Arancana, but she's very shy. Look at all the chickens just chilling under the turmeric. Chickens and guinea fowl. What are you guys doing in here? You should be out laying eggs. Did you lay an egg today? Did you lay an egg today? Did you lay an egg today, Ginger? Did you lay an egg? No excuses. So that's it. We have our little basket of cucamelons. So that is our cucamelons in beautiful tropical far north Queensland, Australia. If you feel like it and only if you feel like it, like and subscribe. But most importantly, stay calm in the farm.